A black box, where if you knew no better you would believe it has supernatural powers, controlled by a magic wand seemingly. We are talking about the television. A modern day cabinet of curiosity of sorts. Today we get into episode 4 of Cabinet of Curiosities, The Outside. Opening up with some soothing choir melodies, we are taken along the road of an American suburban neighborhood, alight with Christmas decorations. We then see a woman dancing as she waits for her food to heat up in the microwave. The sounds of the choir getting louder and louder. Suddenly she jolts with fear after hearing a sound in the distance. After turning her head and not seeing anything, she picks up an axe for a weapon and heads down into the basement to investigate. Nobody there, she heads upstairs into her bedroom and then the bathroom. There is not a soul to be found. Clearly frightened, she's dialing up the sheriff's department, where she explains the sounds happened again. The sheriff seems to be her husband. He then calms her down by telling her the house makes noises at night and he will see her in the morning. The next shot, the woman is at work, seemingly bothered by her co-workers gossiping, but seems to be lost in her gaze when she moisturizes her hands and begins mimicking their actions. At the end of the day, Stacy is counting out money. She is invited to pick out a name for the Secret Santa and is then invited to the party later on. She is chosen to buy Gina a gift which she seems terrified about. Bang! She is then seen shooting down a bird, cutting out its inside and stuffing it down. I could see it in her eyes there was something off about her though. She also spoke to a still dog during her search of the basement, which makes a little more sense now. Stacy explains to her husband she's so happy she got invited to the Secret Santa party. Clearly in admiration of this woman, she lists all the things that she admires about her, saying she can't wait to see the inside of her house. She's different to me, like, you got a big house, that's cool, but there's kind of a reason why you're not in that social circle to begin with. That woman at that party, they just be talking about all their whole activities, sharing way too much information with Stacy stood on the outside of the circle. Without one word that she can add to the conversation, she is not like the rest of the women in this room. If I was her, I would have said peace out, and Stacy ain't having much fun right here. Then they get ready for the Secret Santa. They all receive the exact same box of a low glow, which is an expensive box of cosmetics. Stacy then presents Gina with her gift, which she proceeds to open and finds a stuffed bird that she killed, skinned and dissected. Gina looks over the moon. Stacy has a true gift at reading the room and what people may want. She literally has been listening to the woman talk about boob jobs and dicks for God knows how long. What would make her think that she'd want a dead stuffed duck? If anything, I would have bought the bitch a mirror. She loves herself that much, I'm sure she would have loved that. After all the woman has rubbed the cosmetics in, they point out that Stacy's face has turned bright red and sore after being covered in rashes. Her husband says she's allergic and she replies, damn, I'm allergic to the best lotion in the world. She's already looking up to other people way too much. Why is this the best lotion? Because a whole with fake titties said it is. Nah, just find a lotion that you like and keep it moving is what I say. She's unable to sleep. Her mind's rushing with thoughts of sadness. She climbs out of the bed and wanders into the bathroom where she loses herself gazing into the mirror for a brief second. Walking into the living room, she turns on the TV and watches an advert about the Aloe Glow skin moisturizer, which seems to be speaking directly to her, getting more personal and specific as each second passes. Confused and baffled, she's unsure of what's quite exactly happening here. Essentially, the advert is saying if she uses this product, it will get her a seat at the table. She may lose ambition, free will, personal opinion, but it will stop the woman from laughing at her and tells her it will make things better. She gives it a little pushback, saying she already tried it and look what happened. Speaking like a true hustler, trying to sell her more of this product. He tells her she just has to be a little bit more patient. It's a long process, it's not gonna fix overnight. This has gotten to Stacy. She can't help but pick up the phone and the tube containing the rest of the cream she still has. Doesn't seem like she was able to get much sleep laying there already awake when the postman delivers the brand new box of her low glow products. This woman's nuts. We've already established this stuff is stupidly expensive. She's bought a box full of 30 tubes of this stuff. The advert said it cost like £200 per tube, so she spent a quick $6,000 on this stuff. She's filling to the deep end overnight. This cream must have some super crack inside. She's called into work claiming to be sick. She's sitting there watching cartoons when her husband tries to motivate her to get out, and she describes some deeper psychological issues during the conversation, stating he's fine because he's a man, he can get fat, old, ugly and no one cares, but she has it so much harder and it's changing, which is not true. But you try all these guys spending money on OnlyFans that things are great. Can be hard for men, can be hard for women, no need to argue about whose struggles are worse. In the bed, she's scratching and it wakes her husband. He tries to tell her to calm down, and she replies with it's working. If it's itching, it means it's working. She's allergic, she's going through the worst of it, and the guy just tells her, yeah, just go with the flow, it gotta get worse before it gets better. Nah, seriously, the TV is hypnotizing her. It keeps turning itself on, speaking to her way too directly. She needs to get rid of this TV right now, have a little technology detox, maybe go camping trip, either that or visit a psychologist, because she's falling off the deep. The man on the TV is telling her she has to go all the way. The man explains the new life she wants is already inside of her, under her skin, and that she needs to go a little bit more harder. In the basement, where she tries to grab a bottle of the secret stash, all the lids suddenly open up and the cream ooze out. For some reason, only now does she get scared. She runs upstairs into the bedroom and asks her husband if he can stay home with her tomorrow instead of going to work, which he refuses, as I would with a wife like this. We see the cream never stops oozing out of the bottles, overflowing out of the box they are inside, slowly forming some sort of mound on the floor beside it. I'm writing this as I watch this, but it does look like it may take Stacey's form. The next day, her skin's peeling away, getting ever so worse. She rips flesh away from her arm piece by piece, laughing in the process. Then she warns her husband not to say anything, when he sees her knowing exactly what he's gonna be thinking. She tries to explain to him it's not getting worse, it's actually just getting better, and that Keith should be supportive and must be dumb because he just doesn't know how it works, you know. You're standing there looking like a rotten tomato, but it's working. You think you know you're right, but this is a man that's got to look at you every day, and you're gonna be looking like an extra in a Walking Dead real soon. After the argument, she tries to run into the basement to get more of the cream, forgetting about the events the night before that had her so scared. She is faced with a human-like figure standing there, mimicking her every movement. She's not terrified in fear, matter of fact she's quite amused, proceeds to play around, start touching this thing, then even starts kissing and getting real intimate with the cream figure. I'm just saying, where was Keith? He didn't even want to look in the basement where she keeps running down into. He would have literally seen a man-sized figure giving his wife that bam bam. He tries his hardest to talk sense into her. He says he thinks she's perfect, and she responds with that's what's wrong with Keith and he just doesn't understand. He basically just says, please, I love you the way you are, I don't want you to change and I'm trying to tell you this until I'm blue with it. She rewards this love with a stab to the face where she pushes a scalpel knife into his forehead. She rewards this love with a stab to the face where she pushes a scalpel knife into his forehead. She's surprised though. She probably thinks that he would have just dropped dead there. His first mistake is underestimating this woman's intentions, acting like this was an accident. His second mistake was removing the scalpel from his forehead, immediately opening the wound, allowing all the blood to pour out. His third mistake was not shooting that bitch that very second. Instead, he asked her to go and get him some tissue, where she returns with an axe. That's the end of the line for Keith right there. As they say, the good guys always finish last. He would have survived if he was a little bit more pressing on this matter. She then finds the cream figure in the bathroom. She jumps in and proceeds to soak her entire body inside of it. She then emerges from the bathtub a changed woman, strutting down the hallways glowing in a way that she never has before. Keith, look, I told you it was working. Look at me now, it's working, baby. Keith is dead though, so she drags his body into the basement and cuts out all of his insides. I guess it's gonna end up like the duck and the dog, just another stuffed shell of his former self. Stacey made a deal with the devil and it seems like she got everything that she wanted. See you later, honey, she says to the stuffed corpse of her husband sat on the sofa before she leaves to work to show off the new woman she has become. Smothered in her newfound attention and admiration, she has morphed into one of these women like an exact carbon copy clone. At least Stacey's happy though. Well, that's it for today. Episode 4 of the Cabinet of Curiosities. Thank you for watching through this far. I'm your guy, the Hyacinth speaking, and stay dangerous.